The world stopped when the object appeared. It wasn't big, it wasn't loud. It didn't glow or shoot beams of light. But it appeared above Earth, just outside the atmosphere without warning. One moment the sky was clear, the next every satellite camera showed the same thing. A small, dark alien ship floating silently over the Pacific Ocean. At first, no one believed it was real. News channels thought it was a glitch. Military radars picked it up, but it didn't match any known design. No heat signature, no weapons active, no engines detected, just stillness. Then came the message. It wasn't loud. It wasn't in any known language. But it played across every device on Earth phones, TVs, computers, radios, and even broken speakers. One simple sentence, translated into every language known to man. We know what you've been hiding. People panicked. In some cities, people screamed and ran. Others, they stood still, looking up. Governments rushed to silence the news, but it was too late. Everyone had heard it. Inside a secure room in Washington, the President of the United States stared at the screen. Around her were generals, scientists, and intelligence officers. None of them spoke. The image on the screen was still one black ship, motionless above the clouds. Has it made contact? She asked quietly. Only the one message, ma'am, said General Reynolds. No more since then. Any idea who sent it? A nervous man in a lab coat answered. Not yet. But we ran scans that ship. It's not made from any known material. Some of the metals don't exist on our periodic table. And he paused, clearly unsure whether to continue. Speak, the president said firmly. The ship is powered by something we don't understand. It's not nuclear, not fusion. Silent. But it's alive. The president narrowed her eyes. Alive. It's not a machine, ma'am, or not just a machine. There's something biological inside, but it's not moving, like it's sleeping. For hours, world leaders held secret meetings. China, Russia, the EU all tried to guess what the message meant. What had Earth been hiding? Who were we? And how had they gotten so close without being seen? Then, on day 2, the ship moved. Not fast, not violently. It simply shifted slightly, just enough to make sure every camera, every eye, noticed it was no longer asleep. Another message followed. We are not here to harm, but we demand the truth. Show us the artifact. This time, only a few people knew what it meant. In a mountain base, hidden deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, a secret older than any war sat in the dark. It had been found by accident 27 years ago, by a scientific team drilling into the ice. They thought it was just a strange rock at first. Then it began to glow. A structure was buried deep in the glacier, huge, smooth, and humming with energy. It pulsed when humans approached, as if recognizing them. The world governments had covered it up instantly. The scientists were silenced, and the artifact was locked away in the most secure place on the planet, Black Station. 0. Only 13 people in the world knew what it truly was. Now someone or something from space wanted it. When the president asked about the artifact, the room went silent. General Reynolds looked uneasy. He had been part of the team that first saw it. It watched as the strange device responded to human presence, lighting up like it had been waiting. We can't let them have it, he said. We don't know what it really is, but I'll tell you what I saw. That thing isn't just old, it's ancient, and it's not dead. What do you mean? I mean, it thinks, it watches, it reacts. The president looked at the screen again. The alien ship now hovered closer to Earth, slowly lowering toward the ocean. Still no weapons. Still no signal beyond the message. But it was no longer silent. It was waiting. The council was called. Not Earth's council, the Galactic Council. For centuries, humans had believed they were alone. That belief ended 15 years ago when Earth picked up strange signals from deep space. At first, people thought they were natural, but then the patterns repeated. Then came the translation. A message. We see you. Do not rise too fast. It wasn't a greeting. It was a warning. Since then, Earth had made quiet contact with the galactic community. Not full membership, humanity wasn't trusted. But the Council watched, spoke through ambassadors, and monitored human activity. They never knew about the artifact, till now. When the alien ship arrived, Earth's secret was exposed. The Council was furious. An emergency message arrived. From the Council's high voice, her image appeared in the command center, tall, silver-skinned, with glowing eyes and sharp, smooth features. "You were ordered to report all relics from the first civilization," she said coldly. "This artifact belongs to the galaxy, not to you." The President responded calmly. "It was found on Earth, and we didn't know what it was." The high voice's eyes narrowed. "You knew enough to hide it. We demand access immediately. And if we say no," there was no reply. Just a cold silence before the message ended. That night, 2 Council ships entered the solar system. They did not come near Earth. They simply floated past Neptune, watching in Antarctica. The artifact glowed brighter than ever before. Dr. Kate Lennox stood inside the icy chamber, staring at the glowing surface of the alien structure. She had worked here for 10 years. She had seen it change colors, shapes, and even produce sounds that made no sense. Now, for the first time, it was pulsing, like a heartbeat. "Something's waking up," she whispered. A soldier nearby spoke into his earpiece. "Base command artifact is reacting. It's humming now." The hum turned into a low vibration, deep and slow. The ice around it began to crack. Lights flickered. Walls shook. Then it spoke. Not through speakers, but through sound. But directly into the minds of every person in the chamber. "They are not ready. But they will be." Everyone dropped to their knees. Some screamed, others cried. One man fainted. Dr. Lennox stood frozen. "Who are you?" she asked. The voice answered, "I am memory. I am warning. I am the last of the first flame." The power shut down across the base. Generators failed. Lights went out, and then the alien ship over the ocean lit up bright golden light, shooting upward like a beacon. In the Council ship near Neptune, alarms sounded. The captain, a scaled creature with 6 eyes, stood up in shock. "It's real." He said they activated it. On Earth, world leaders were torn. Give the artifact to the Council. Protected, no matter the cost. But before they could decide, the alien ship landed. Not in a city, not near people, but directly over the Antarctic base. It hovered, silent and glowing. The artifact inside the ice pulsed once more, and opened. A door appeared in its smooth surface. Light poured out. Dr. Lennox stepped forward. "What do you want us to see?" she whispered. The voice replied, "The truth you buried. The truth they fear." She entered. The others watched in silence as the light swallowed her above. The alien ship began to change. Shape wings unfolded, panels shifted, and its surface shimmered like liquid. It was not a ship, it was a messenger, inside the artifact. Dr. Lennox saw things no human had seen before. A map of the galaxy, but twisted, showing stars long dead, empires lost, and paths that led nowhere. She saw battles fought in colors she couldn't name. She saw a world bright and blue, destroyed in a single instant. She saw Earth in a line of text. Seed World 3. Last hope. She stepped back, breath gone, heart racing. "It's not just a relic," she whispered. "It's a memory of what's coming." Outside, the Council ship near Neptune began transmitting. "Earth has violated the Galactic Accord. Prepare for response." In every secret military base on Earth, alarms sounded. Missile systems went hot. Experimental spacecraft began launching from hidden bunkers project. Titan was activated. Earth was no longer hiding. It was preparing, and in the shadows of deep space, something else heard the signal. Something that had waited for a very long time, something not even the Council remembered. But the artifact did, and now so did Earth. The door to the artifact stayed open. Dr. Kate Lennox stood inside, surrounded by light and memory. The air felt heavy, but not painful. It was warm, even peaceful. But her mind, her thoughts were filled with something more. Images, words, feelings. They poured into her faster than she could understand. She saw planets crumble into fire, saw beings of light and stone fighting wars in the silence of space. She saw a city that floated in the clouds, then burned in golden flames. And behind it all, a presence, cold, silent. Watching everything fall, she turned slowly. The walls were covered in symbols, alien but familiar, as if they weren't just written, but felt. "Why me?" she asked aloud. The artifact answered without sound. "You listened, and you were ready." Outside, the team at Black Station Zero waited in silence. The alien ship hovered above the glacier, unmoving. It glowed like it was breathing. No weapons, no crew appeared, but everyone could feel its pressure in the air, tension in the ice. General Reynolds stood near the entrance, eyes locked on the sky. "We need to shut it down," he said, "before the Council sends more." "No," said Commander Hargrove, head of Artifact Security. "If we destroy it, we lose everything. Whatever it's showing her, it could be a warning." Reynolds shook his head. "Or a trap." Far above Earth, the Council fleet expanded. Not just 2 ships, now 5 more, had arrived near Pluto, all massive, armed, and preparing to move closer. Inside one of them, high-voiced Drell paced her private chamber. "They activated it," her assistant said. "The artifact is now fully awake." Drell's skin shimmered with anger. They had no right. They're primitives. Children playing with fire. The assistant hesitated. "Permission to speak freely?" Drell nodded. "The artifact may not belong to us." The first flame marked Earth. What if they left it there on purpose? Drell turned slowly. Then Earth must be burned, before it awakens more. Earth. Dr. Lennox walked deeper into the artifact's core. The path shifted under her feet, smooth, black, and warm to the touch. The light pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. She reached a chamber shaped like a dome. Floating above her was a sphere of light inside it. Memories played like holograms. A figure appeared, tall, not human, glowing like starlight. Its voice was soft. "We were the first flame. We built the roads between galaxies. We created peace across systems. But something came. Something without reason. It did not want power. It wanted silence." Dr. Lennox watched as stars were erased. Not destroyed, erased, like they had never been there. The memory continued. "We could not fight it. We could only hide what mattered." The image shifted. She saw Earth, untouched, blue and green. The artifact was falling through space, burning. Through Earth's ancient sky, landing deep in frozen lands. "You were not the strongest. You were not the smartest. But you were different." Dr. Lennox whispered, "Why Earth? Because you remember pain. And still, you hope." She stumbled back. Tears ran down her face, not from fear, but from the weight of what she saw. Earth wasn't chosen by accident. It was the last lock, the final chance. Above the artifact, the alien ship pulsed again. For the first time, a figure stepped out. It floated, not with wings or jetpacks. It simply hovered a few feet above the ice, drifting slowly down. It was tall, smooth-skinned, with no face, just light where eyes should be. It wore no suit, no armor. Soldiers raised their weapons, but it didn't stop. It spoke calmly in perfect English. "You've seen it. Now decide." General Reynolds stepped forward, gun in hand. "Who are you?" The being tilted its head. "I was once like you, until I saw what was coming. I left the Council. I searched for Earth, and now I found you." "Why now?" Reynolds asked. The being's voice grew colder. "'Cause the silence is waking up again." Suddenly, the artifact sent out a pulse. Silent, invisible, but massive. Satellites across the planet went offline, Council ships above. Neptune shook. One ship lost control and drifted into Saturn's rings. Inside the artifact, Dr. Lennox was pulled from the chamber. The light dimmed. Soft voice spoke again. "You must tell them. They will not believe." But they must prepare. She fell forward onto the ice, outside the door, gasping for air. Soldiers rushed to her side. She looked up at the alien being. "You saw it too?" she asked. The being nodded. "Yes, I ran from it, but it always finds light." Above, the council issued a final command: prepare planetary judgment. Earth has refused surrender. More ships arrived. Now 10 vessels circled the outer edge of the solar system. The message they broadcast was clear: you have 48 Earth hours to turn over the artifact, or we remove it by force. Earth's leaders held an emergency meeting. "We're outgunned," said Japan's prime minister. "Their ships are too strong. We give it up and we lose everything," said the president. "It's not just about Earth now. What if they destroy it? What if the artifact is the only thing that can stop this?" Silence. Silence. A plan was born. Not one of surrender, not one of begging, but of delay. A secret message was sent to Project Eclipse, buried under Mars' surface. Project Eclipse had been building something for years. A ship. A weapon. Powered by what little Earth had already learned from the artifact. Not finished. Not tested, but needed now, as engineers. Worked around the clock, Dr. Lennox was moved to a secure location. She began to draw what she saw: star paths, enemy shapes, strange energy flows, and one terrible symbol, a black spiral, growing, always growing. She circled it. "That's what's coming," she said. "Not a species, not an army. Something worse." "Can we fight it?" asked her assistant. "No," she whispered, "but maybe. We can survive." Meanwhile, the alien being, now called Echo by Earth scientists, spoke with leaders. It shared what it knew. "The Council is afraid," Echo said. "They want control, but control is not safety. Safety is truth." General Reynolds frowned. "So what? We fight everyone? Alone?" Echo looked up at the stars. "You won't be alone for long. Others will see. Others will join. But only if you show strength now." The council grew nervous. The artifact was doing more than waking up, it was calling out. And they didn't know who would answer. In deep space, far beyond council range, old systems blinked online. Long buried, powered up. One by one. Ancient signatures. Forgotten codes. They had heard the signal. The first flame was not gone. It was sleeping now. Earth was waking it up. In the final hours before the deadline, the council sent one last offer. "Give us the artifact. We will spare your world." The president stood before the world, live on every screen. "We did not ask for war. We did not ask for this artifact. But it came to us. It chose us. And we will protect it. Not just for Earth, but for whatever comes next, across the world." People cheered. Others prepared for battle, fear mixed with pride, and far below the ice. The artifact glowed gold once more. The silence was ending, and Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a warning and a signal. The countdown had begun. High above Earth, 10 massive council warships floated in the dark. Each was larger than a city. Their weapons were charged. Their message was clear. Earth has 48 hours to comply. If not, the artifact will be taken by force. But Earth had already made its choice. They would not give up the artifact. Not now, not ever. Inside Black Station Zero, deep under the ice, the artifact continued to glow. The ancient machine, older than the galaxy itself, had become brighter, louder. Its hum could now be heard even in the upper tunnels. It pulsed like a beating heart, and each pulse felt heavier. Some scientists began having dreams, strange visions of fire, stars, and voices in forgotten tongues. Others simply collapsed from exhaustion. Something inside the artifact was pushing harder now, trying to be understood. Dr. Kate Lennox stood beside Eka, the strange being who had arrived from the alien ship. Together, they watched the glowing surface of the artifact shift. "It's reacting to the threat," Kate said softly. "It knows the council is coming." Echo nodded slowly. His voice was calm, but there was something behind it. Worry. The first flame never gave gifts without reason. If it left this here, it knew this day would come. "What does it want us to do?" Echo turned toward her. "Survive. Above Antarctica, Earth launched its first response. Dozens of fighter drones rose from hidden silos. They weren't ordinary aircraft. These had been built using stolen alien tech, developed in secret labs. Sleek, fast, silent. They didn't carry nukes or missiles. They carried disruption cannons, weapons designed to cut through energy shields. Their goal was not to defeat the Council. It was to delay them. For every hour they stalled, Earth bought more time. Time to finish Project Eclipse. On Mars, in a deep underground hangar, a new ship was being completed. It was Earth's first reverse-engineered warship built with fragments from crashed alien vessels, mixed with human steel, and powered by something taken from the artifact 10 years ago. It was called Sentinel-1, still untested, still unstable. But humanity had no more time. Back on Earth, governments fell silent. For the first time in history, every nation had come under one flag, one command, one cause: the defense of Earth. Inside the United World Command Center, the president spoke again. We didn't choose this war. We didn't ask for ancient machines or alien warnings. But now we stand on the edge of something greater than any of us. The Council fears us, not because of our weapons, because of what we might become. Some called it madness. Others called it courage. The Council called it rebellion. On the outer edge of the solar system, the lead Council ship opened a gate, a swirling tunnel. Of light formed beside it a hyperspace corridor, large enough to move the entire fleet straight to Earth orbit. But something was wrong. As the corridor stabilized, an alarm went off inside the ship. Unidentified signal detected. The captain, a thin, silver-scaled being, leaned forward. Where? Inside the corridor, his officer replied, "Something is blocking the path." They activated visuals, and there it was. A wall, not made of metal, not made of force, but made of light. Bright gold, covered in symbols from a language even the Council couldn't translate. The captain's voice dropped. That's first flame tech." "How is that possible?" asked another. "I don't know, but it's coming from Earth." The Council fleet stopped. They couldn't pass. Not yet. On Earth, the artifact pulsed again. The light grew stronger, expanding upward like a column into the sky. It wasn't just shining, it was broadcasting. Across the stars, across ancient satellites, across long-dead systems. The signal reached out, and something began to answer. In a forgotten system near the edge of the Orion Arm, an old station blinked to life. On a planet with no name, a buried temple opened its doors, and in the blackness beyond known space, something moved. Back on Earth, Dr. Lennox began to change. She didn't speak it aloud, but the dreams had started. Each night, she saw star maps, long routes, and lost voices. She understood things she couldn't explain, math far beyond human science. Languages never heard on Earth. The artifact wasn't just showing her things. It was upgrading her mind. She tried to keep it secret. Bedico noticed. "You are becoming a flame bearer," he said. "What does that mean?" she asked, shaking. "It means the first flame has chosen you to carry part of its knowledge, its memory, its warning. I didn't ask for this." Echo looked at her with gentle eyes. None of us did. But the galaxy doesn't wait for permission. Suddenly, a new alert rang through the command center. Unidentified vessels entering the system. The Council. This was something else. The ships didn't match Council designs. They were older, rusted, but powerful. Some looked like broken moons. Others glowed like stars, hundreds of them, all moving toward Earth. Fear spread quickly. "Are we under attack?" "No," said Dr. Lennox, watching the screen. "They're answering the artifact's call." The new ship stopped outside Jupiter. A message was received, not in words, but in intent. "We remember, we come in peace. We serve the first flame." The Council was furious, inside their command ship. High-voiced Drell watched as her enemies grew in number. "They're waking the past," she said bitterly. "Fools." An emergency meeting was called among the Council races. Some wanted to back down. Earth may be protected by the artifact. Attacking could risk a greater war. Others wanted to strike now, destroy the planet, remove the artifact. End it before more answer the call. But Earth was not waiting. Sentinel-1 was launched from Mars. It was not finished. Its systems glitched. Its engines trembled. But it flew. And as it entered Earth orbit, the world watched in silence. A human warship. Shining black, etched with strange golden line symbols taken from the artifact, it sent a message to the Council. Earth is no longer under your control. It was the moment everything changed. For thousands of years, the Council had ruled with fear. But now, fear was turning, and it was turning toward Earth. The final message came through the artifact that night. Dr. Lennox stood alone, her eyes glowing faintly from the strange energy inside her. She pressed her hand against the surface. A voice whispered, "They will come. All of them. Not just the Council. Not just the others. The silence is rising. But you. You are the spark now." She stepped back, then let them come. And the stars held their breath. The sky above Earth had changed. Every night now, strange lights appeared. Some danced like stars being born. Others stayed still, watching. The Council ships remained in the outer system, but they no longer moved forward. Not yet, because Earth had allies now. Unlikely ones, from forgotten corners of the galaxy. Ships that hadn't flown in thousands of years now floated near Earth. Some were round like orbs. Others were broken, but still alive. They came from extinct civilizations long gone, erased by time or war. But all of them had one thing in common. They answered the call of the artifact. Inside Black Station Zero, Dr. Kate Lennox sat alone in the central chamber. The artifact was brighter now. Its surface moved like water. When she touched it, it responded like it recognized her thoughts before she even spoke them. And each day, she saw more. Visions of ancient worlds, of races wiped out, of ships burning in the darkness. But more than that, she began to understand a truth. One that no one on Earth was ready to face. The first flame was not a species. It was not a government. It was an idea. A force that gave knowledge to others, not to control, but to guide. And it had feared only one thing. Something older than time. Something they had no name for. Only a symbol. A spiral made of shadows. She called it the silence, and it was waking. Commander Hargrove entered the room, his boots echoing against the cold. "Floor, you haven't slept," he said. Kate smiled faintly. "There's no time. We got another message," he said, handing her a tablet. "This one came from the outer edge of Andromeda. It's not from the Council. It's a distress signal." Kate looked at the screen. The message was short. One sentence, repeated over and over. "They are here. They do not speak. They erase." Kate's hand shook. "They're starting," she said. "The silence has begun to move." Meanwhile, in orbit, Sentinel-1 hovered near the moon. The ship wasn't fully complete, but it was more than just metal. Its core reactor hummed with an energy not of Earth. Engineers still didn't understand it. Weapons had been tested only once. During that test, the target, a full asteroid, had vanished completely. No explosion, just vanished. Earth didn't understand what they were building. But the artifact had shown them how, and it had chosen Sentinel-1 to be the first line of defense. Inside the warship, Captain Rios walked across the bridge. Her crew was quiet, tense, but ready. Each of them had volunteered. None expected to. "Return? Council movement?" she asked. Her officer nodded. "3 ships have started moving. They're testing our line." Rios stood straight. "Let them. We'll show them Earth is not afraid." Elsewhere, deep in space, the Council met again. High-voiced Drell was not smiling. "They are gathering forces. Dead races. Forgotten. Fleets? How is this possible?" An elder among them, skin like stone, answered slowly. "They are waking the memory of the galaxy." The first flame left more than artifacts. It left seeds. Another counselor growled, "And we burned the roots." The fear was spreading, even among them. Silence had always been a myth, a tale, told to frighten children. But now entire systems were going dark. No messages, no escape pods, just blackness. And in that silence, the same signal, no sound, just a presence watching. On Earth, Kate began to speak with echo more. Strange. Being rarely slept, rarely moved. But now he stood beside her often. "They're coming faster," she said. "The artifact is warning us. We have weeks, maybe days." Echo nodded. "The Council doesn't know how to fight the silence, only know how to control. That's why the flame gave you the keys." He pointed to the artifact. "There are more like this, not just on Earth, but connected to it. You are the core." Kate's heart raced. "I need to find the others." "You don't need to find them," he replied. "They're already waking." All across Earth, strange events began to happen in the deep ocean. Near the Mariana Trench, a glowing sphere rose from beneath the sea, floor untouched for millions of years, in the Sahara Desert. A buried machine powered on, sending a beam of light straight into space, and the Amazon trees moved unnaturally, revealing a hidden tower covered in golden light. Each structure carried the same energy. Each was a part of the first flame. The Council panicked. Their command ship sent a final threat. "Earth has broken the laws of galactic order. You will stand down or be destroyed." "This time," Earth replied. Kate stood before the camera. Her voice was calm. "We are not your subjects. We never were. And if you continue this path, you will not just face Earth. You will face everything. The first flame. Protected." Captain Rios added one line, broadcast from Sentinel-1. "We are the spark now, and we are not alone." Suddenly, the artifact glowed brighter than ever before. A wave of energy burst from its core, visible in the sky, like a ring of gold spreading. Out from Earth, it passed through ships, through satellites, through space itself, and across the galaxy. Others awoke. Old fleets that had hidden, guardians who had waited, silent watchers who had feared to rise. Now they turned toward Earth because the signal was clear. The silence was rising, and Earth was the last light. The stars began to vanish. Not slowly, not with natural death. One by one, whole systems went dark. No sound, no warning, just silence. At first, astronomers thought their instruments were broken. Then came the messages, faint, distorted. Most were just screams, static, or garbled cries. One message, however, was clear. We looked into the black. Something looked back. Across the galaxy, panic spread. The Council blamed Earth, calling the artifact a beacon of doom, but no one listened. Anymore, even their allies began to withdraw. Fear had become more powerful than order, and in the middle of it all stood Earth. Humanity was still considered young, primitive by galactic standards. But now, something ancient had chosen them. Something older than stars had placed its final hope in their hands. And Earth was changing fast. At Black Station Zero, Dr. Kate Lennox stood before the artifact. Her veins glowed faintly. Her eyes shimmered with golden light. Every day her mind grew sharper. She saw the universe like a map. She heard voices from far-off systems. She could feel the silence moving, and worst of all, she knew what it wanted. The silence did not conquer. It consumed no battles, no warnings. It simply removed life. Not just bodies, but memory, history, even light itself. As if nothing had ever been there, Echo stood beside her, his expression darker than usual. "We've passed the threshold. It's begun. Then we fight," Kate said softly. "You cannot fight silence with weapons," he warned. Kate turned to him. "Then we fight it with fire." Up in orbit, Sentinel-1 drifted in high silence, guarding Earth like a shadow. Its hull had changed again, new lines forming across the black metal. Symbols, shapes, and energy signatures no one understood. Inside, Captain Rios read the latest report. A Council fleet of 5 ships had entered Alpha Centauri system and vanished. Not destroyed, not damaged, just dash gone. No debris, no signals, just absence. She looked at her crew. "Alert all systems. We may be next." Meanwhile, Earth's defense grid activated. Giant shield generators hidden under oceans and buried beneath mountains powered up. The planetary net wasn't perfect, but it was strong enough to buy time, and time was now humanity's greatest weapon, because Kate had found something inside. The artifact buried deep in the data streams of forgotten civilizations. She found records from the first flame's last stand. The silence had come once before, long ago. Only a few systems had survived, and all of them had one thing in common. They had built a harmonic Bacana device, not meant to destroy the silence, but to hold it back, delay it. Like light pushing against the dark, Earth could do the same. But it needed three things: a central source of power, signal tower strong enough to reach across galaxies, someone who could link their mind to the old code. Kate was the last. The artifact had chosen her, and now she understood. She wasn't. The answer? She was the key to unlocking it. Work began immediately, across the planet. Engineers and scientists rushed to build the beacon array, following plans decoded from the artifact. Massive pylons rose from the ground, built with strange golden alloys from the underground sites. Yeah, they weren't human designs, but humans built them anyway. They had no other choice. But the silence didn't wait. A scout ship, sent to the edge of the solar system, vanished in real time. Satellite cameras captured it. One moment the ship was there, sending reports. The next, it wasn't. No explosion, no damage. It's just a wave of black static hand silence. The footage spread like fire. People screamed. Some ran to shelters. Some stared at the sky, whispering prayers. Others, quietly, began to prepare for war. On the council side, chaos ruled. Entire worlds had gone quiet. Armadas were being recalled. Empires collapsed as fear gripped them. Her high voice sent a final demand to Earth: hand over the artifact, or we will destroy the planet to stop what you've unleashed. Earth responded with one word: no. And for the first time in the galaxy's history, the Council backed away, because deep down, they feared Earth was right. Something was coming, and Earth was now the last spark of resistance. Kate stood atop the Antarctic beacon array. The final piece was ready. The towers stood tall like blades against the sky. The artifact's power flowed through them like blood through veins. She reached out, her hand glowing. "Begin the signal," she whispered. A golden wave exploded upward, rising past the atmosphere. Stretching toward deep space, it wasn't a message. It was a warning. A final flare in the dark and far, far away. Something noticed in the cold space beyond the galactic rim. A shape moved. No ship, no creature, just a wall of shifting black. No heat, no sound, no stars behind it, and it turned toward Earth. The black wall was coming. It did not roar or flash, did not burn or shake. It simply erased. Stars vanished behind it. Systems blinked out. Entire galaxies dimmed like candles in the rain. And now it was moving toward Earth. Humanity had weeks, maybe. Less everyone knew, no news anchor could hide it. No world government could calm it. And no child looked at the night sky without feeling fear. But Earth was not running. They were building. Across the globe, the beacon array pulsed with golden light. Dozens of towers now reached into the sky, glowing at night like silent swords. The array was not a weapon it could not kill, but it could push back the silence, hold it for a time. And Earth needed that time, because they were building something else too, something the galaxy didn't know about. Something even the first flame had only begun to dream of. It was called Project Dawnfire, hidden beneath the Himalayas, inside the deepest human-made chamber on Earth. The Dawnfire reactor came to life. It ran on power from the artifact, energy pulled from beyond normal space. No one fully understood it, but they didn't need to. They just had to aim it up in orbit. Sentinel-1 was no longer alone. More warships had been built, some human, some from alien blueprints stored inside the artifact. They were strange, curved, glowing with silver and gold. No Earth Navy had ever flown ships like this, but now they would lead the charge. Captain Rios stood on the bridge of Sentinel-1, watching the sensor readings. "The black wave has entered Proxima Centauri," her officer said quietly. Rios nodded. "Time? 13 days until it hits the solar system edge." Rios didn't blink. Then we make every hour count. Down below, Dr. Kate Lennox was changing. She didn't sleep anymore, didn't eat much. Her body was still human, but her mind had expanded. The artifact now responded to her before she even touched it. She saw energy flows through walls. She felt time like a river, but she never lost her voice. She still sounded like Kate. "I need to go up," she told Echo. Echo looked at her, eyes narrowing. "To the ship?" "No, beyond. I need to be on the edge when the silence arrives. That's where I can channel the full beacon array." "You're risking everything," he said. "I'm risking nothing," she replied, "because if we lose, the edge Earth won't matter." And so she left. A special craft, built just for her, launched silently from Antarctica. It flew past the moon, then Mars, then beyond the asteroid belt. At the edge of the solar system, near the dwarf planet, Eris, a strange station waited. It was called the Halo Ring. No one had seen it before, but the artifact showed humanity how to build it piece by piece, atom by atom. It wasn't a weapon, it was a shield. Not one of metal or plasma, but one of memory, light, and thought. The first flame had used something like it once, long ago. It had failed then, but Kate believed they could succeed now, the moment she entered the Halo Ring. Her body floated in golden light. She no longer saw with eyes. She felt the edges of space. She felt the silence. It felt her back. She spoke one sentence into the void. "You are not welcome here," and the silence replied. "Not in words, but in pressure," Kate screamed as the black wave pushed against her mind. Pain shot through her chest. Her vision cracked. But she held on, and the beacon array answered. From Earth, a pulse shot through space, into the ring, and into her. Suddenly, light burst out of the station bright. Loud and wide, the black wave shuddered. It didn't stop, but it slowed. On Earth, everyone saw it. The wave had paused just for a second. But it was real. People cried, not in fear this time. In hope, they still had a chance. But then, the Council acted. Desperate to protect themselves, the Council launched a secret weapon, the Starpicer. A massive torpedo designed to destroy any artificial beacon, any anomaly, and they aimed it at the Halo Ring. Idiots. Rios growled, watching the signal. "They're trying to kill her," an officer said. "No," she replied. "They're trying to save themselves." The torpedo raced through space, silent and fast. Kate saw it coming, but she didn't move. She only whispered, "Now." And Earth responded, Sentinel-1, followed by the new Earth fleet. Jumped to intercept. They met the torpedo in midspace, and the war began. Laser fire, pulse cannons, energy beams from alien tech, human pilots flying with A's bonded to their minds. Council ships weren't ready for what Earth had become. They thought they were attacking a threat instead. They woke a giant. Sentinel-1 struck the torpedo. First its cannon fired once, and the torpedo vanished. The Earth fleet pushed forward, breaking Council lines, and all across the galaxy. Other worlds saw it. For the first time in history, the Council wasn't feared. Earth was, but Earth wasn't trying to conquer. They were protecting something sacred, the spark of life in a dying galaxy, back in the Halo Ring. Kate opened her eyes. Her body was weak. Blood floated in the air around her. But the ring was glowing bright. The beacon had reached full power. And for now, the silence held back. But not for long. She had slowed it, not stopped it. The real battle was still coming, and Earth would stand in its path. The stars were trembling, not from gravity or heat, but from something deeper, something old, something wrong. Astronomers on Titan noticed it first. Whole constellations were flickering like dying candles. Then the messages stopped coming from nearby colonies. Entire moons no longer responded, not destroyed, not damaged, just silent. The silence was finally here, and this time it wasn't hiding. Kate floated inside the Halo Ring, weak but alert. Her body had lost weight. Her skin shimmered faintly with golden veins. She no longer needed food, longer needed sleep, but her voice still worked. The black wave is folding space, she said through the cum. It's not moving like a wall anymore. It's curling inward. Captain Rios, watching from orbit aboard Sentinel-1, narrowed her eyes. What does that mean? It's not here to consume. It's here to collapse everything. The stars, the matter, the history itself. You mean erase existence? Yes, and the center point it's curling toward. Kate paused, her voice shaking, is Earth. Down below, Earth's beacon arrays glowed like fire pillars. The towers were now taller, thicker, reinforced with materials found beneath the Sahara and the Mariana Trench sites activated by the artifact itself. These weren't just defense towers anymore. They were anchors. Each one sent pulses into space. Each pulse pushed against the dark. But it wasn't enough. The silence had adapted, and now it was sending shadows ahead. Not ships, not drones, but twisted, half-alive things made of black static. In memory fragments, they slipped past sensors. They whispered into radios, and then they attacked. The Martian relay station went first. The crew vanished in less than 60 seconds. Only their final recording remained. Screams. Then one whisper. It remembers us. After that, Earth activated Protocol Epitaph. Every outpost, station, or ship beyond the solar border was ordered to return or self-destruct. Nothing could fall into the silence's hands. Not even data. The Galactic Council watched from afar. Helpless and silent, their high voice sent a final message to Earth. We were wrong. We mocked you. We feared you. But now, we beg you, stop this. Earth didn't reply. They were already focused on something else. Project Dawnfire was complete. At the edge of space, behind Jupiter's moons, a shape had formed, massive, quiet and glowing. A ship, but not like any before. It had no engines, no weapons, no crew. It was a living battery, built to release the full charge of the artifact's core, a pulse strong enough to push the silence back beyond the galactic edge, for maybe a century. Maybe, but firing it came with a cost. The artifact would burn out. Kate would die, and Earth would lose all contact with the stars for generations, but it would save everything. Captain Rios gathered the world's last council. Scientists, leaders, generals, even civilians. No arguing. No politics, just one question: do we fire it? And the world answered yes. But there was one problem. The Dawnfire ship needed someone to guide the pulse, to aim it, to hold it together as it passed through dimensions. Only one person could. Do that now, Kate, she nodded when they asked. I knew it would end this way. Echo stood beside her, expressionless. You are choosing to end your story. Kate smiled weakly. No. I'm choosing to let others continue theirs. She entered. The Dawnfire vessel alone inside, there was no cockpit. No controls, only light and sound. The ship welcomed her like a mother remembering her child. Back on Earth, the final signal was given. The ship began to charge, every beacon on Earth activated. Energy poured into the sky. The halo ring opened like a golden flower, and the black wave began to twist in response. It knew it started folding faster. Star systems imploded behind it. Whole nebulae vanished. It rushed toward Earth like a roaring shadow. Kate reached out with her mind. She found the wave. She found its center. She whispered, I see you. And she released the pulse. The stars exploded with light. The solar system glowed like a second sun. The black wave screamed not in sound, but in memory. Pain, fear, rage, it folded inward, collapsing on itself. It spun away, flying back toward the outer edges of the galaxy. It wasn't destroyed, but it was pushed back far beyond the rim. For now, an Earth fell silent. The Dawnfire ship vanished. Kate was gone. The artifact turned to ash. The halo ring shattered, and Earth, glowing with golden light, now stood alone, but alive. The stars were quiet, not with fear, but peace. For the first time in months, galaxies no longer vanished. Planets no longer went dark, and the whispers of the silence were gone. It had retreated, folded back into the black where it came from. Because Earth had stood its ground, because she had stood alone, and burned like a star. Kate Lennox had vanished with the Dawnfire ship. No trace, no message. Only a ripple of golden light remained in the skies above Earth, slowly fading, like the last breath of a song. Some said she died, others believed she became something more, part of the energy, part of the light, but no one forgot her. Across Earth, cities rang their bells, millions lit candles. Even in orbit, Sentinel-1 dimmed its systems for 1 full hour in silence. They didn't mourn her like a hero. They remembered her like a shield, because she was the reason. Stars still shined. Echo stood alone at the old Antarctica site, near the first beacon tower. He watched the skies motionless as ice winds howled. She was the last piece, he whispered. The flame survives. Because of her, he placed a small device into the snow. It activated silently, projecting a single image, Kate's last photo, smiling, alive. Then he disappeared into the wind. Far beyond Earth, the Galactic Council met again. The high voice, once proud and commanding, now spoke with careful words. We accused them. We attacked them. We doubted them, he said. And while we argued, Earth saved us all.
Ow.
There was no applause, only silence. Then the council did something they had never done in their long history. They stood and they bowed to a world once called primitive, a world that had faced the dark and pushed it back. Back on Earth, things had changed. The beacons had gone quiet. Their energy cores faded. The artifact was gone, reduced to dust and memory. But something had awakened in humanity. Not power, not pride, but purpose. They had seen the galaxy. It had touched ancient forces. They had fought the oldest enemy life had ever known. And now they knew their place. Not as rulers, not as soldiers, but as keepers of the flame. Earth began building again, not weapons, but watchtowers. Signals, warnings, relays designed to monitor the edges of space. They weren't preparing for war. They were preparing others for the day it returns. Schools began teaching galactic languages. Kids studied the stars not to escape, but to protect. Ships were redesigned, faster, stronger, but more than that, smarter. Every new captain carried one rule in their hearts: protect the spark. At all costs. Sentinel-1 remained in orbit, now a monument and a guardian. Captain Rios stayed in command, though her hair turned silver with time. She was offered council seats, honors, medals. She refused them all. I don't want statues, she said. I want us to stay ready. On a quiet hill in Kenya, under the open sky, a small memorial stood. No weapons, no flame, just stone. It said, Kate Lennox, the one who answered the silence. Below that, a single sentence was carved in simple words. She gave us time. Generations passed. The wave never returned. But Earth remembered. And far, far beyond the stars, where space bent and light broke, something stirred. It did not move. It did not speak. But it remembered the light. It pushed it back. It remembered the one voice that whispered, "You are not welcome here." And so it waited. But this time, so would humanity. With stars above, flame within, and a promise carved in memory that when the silence comes again, Earth will be ready.